CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. The former chair of the Taber Police Commission has pleaded guilty to charges of accessing child pornography and luring a child under the age of 18 on the internet. Curtis Parody pleaded guilty to the charges this morning in Taber Provincial Court. The Crown has withdrawn other charges against Curtis Parody, who is expected to be sentenced later this spring. Terry Boat reports.
While Special Prosecutor Nadine Nesbitt declined to comment, Curtis Parody's lawyer says by entering a guilty plea on counts of accessing child pornography and using the internet to commit an offense, his client is taking full responsibility for his actions and receiving the treatment necessary to deal with the issues that led to the charges.
What we're now dealing with is a sentencing hearing which will take place at a date which will be set next Tuesday with respect to the two offenses that he has pled guilty to, which in our estimation, considering the offenses that he was facing, are less serious in nature.
Parody, a well-known local businessman and former chair of the Taber Police Commission, was charged last year following an investigation. Police say Parody posed as a teenage boy and convinced a teenage girl from New York to perform sexual acts while he watched on a web camera.
Of course, it's an extremely stressful time. Taber is a small community, close-knit community. Mr. Parody is and was extremely well known, so it has a shock. He's already, of course, been found guilty in the eyes of public opinion to the extent of the more serious charges which were laid and have now been withdrawn.
The court has ordered a pre-sentence report and a psychiatric risk assessment. The Crown has indicated they'll need a day for sentencing. Terry Vogt, CTV News, Taber.
Parody is scheduled to return to court February 7th to set the date for the sentencing. Now, a Cranbrook RCMP officer has been charged with theft after a police officer says that he stole a laptop computer from a pawn shop while on the job. At a press conference today, Chief Superintendent of the Southeast District, Mike Sakala, said the officer took the computer from a pawn shop, telling the store owner it may be evidence in a crime. But the laptop was never registered at the RCMP detachment. An investigation into the conduct of Constable Bryden Hennessy was launched in October of 2011. His gun and badge were seized, and he was suspended without pay. Hennessy resigned from the force in December. He has now been charged with theft under $5,000.
In early December, Mr. Hennessy submitted his resignation. His resignation was accepted by the commanding officer and is irrevocable. Excuse me. He will never work for the RCMP again.
Now, Hennessy was actually suspended with pay at the time. Hennessy will be in court February 6th to face the charge. He was involved in another incident. In 2003 in Terrace, BC, he pleaded guilty to assault after a man was tasered. In police holding cells, he was docked 3 days' pay. Lethbridge Regional Police have charged 2 teens in the graffiti of a church. Over the weekend, 4 graffiti tags were marked on the All Saints Roman Catholic Church on 24th Street and 12th Avenue South. Late Sunday, officers were called to 2 teens spray painting fences and sidewalks in the area of Cedar Road, Lakemount Boulevard South. Police arrested 2 boys aged 13 and 14. They each face 4 counts of mischief under $5,000 and 1 charge of theft. Well, Dory, there is a chance we could see showers or even flurries tomorrow. But other than that, pretty much clear sailing.
It's not bad at all, Jackie. We do have a certain prognosticators, indicators that are saying we have that chance of seeing precipitation. It's all got to do with the wind direction changing to the northwest late in the day tomorrow, and that has the chance of pushing down some precipitation into our area. It's not expected to be a lot. It's not expected to be with us for very long, but we just want to make people aware of that. But you're right, after that, clear sailing. I'll have more details in a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Dory. And the warmer weather that Dory's been talking about has prompted the county of Lethbridge to issue a fire ban. All open fires are now prohibited. Fires in cooking or heating appliances fueled by fluids or gases are still allowed. The county is canceling all fire permits, and no new permits will be issued until further notice. Well, a Lethbridge school has joined the Castle area logging debate. A day after protesters got a court order to leave a logging site, students are sending their support for the protest to the government. Alicia Fieldberg reports.
Second graders at St. Paul's School are speaking up about the future of the Castle River Valley.
Please stop cutting down the trees because the animals and the nature I think it's important to save the trees because the animals will lose their homes.
They've written letters to the Premier asking to reconsider logging in the area.
Dear Premier Redford, can you please change your mind? Dear Premier Redford, please stop castle logging.
And the children have a stake in it because it affects their future. And so what we did was we watched The Lorax by Dr. Seuss.
I speak for the trees have no tongues.
I think if the grade 2s can write letters, then I think all of us need to speak up.
The 6th grade class is also in on the action. One of the students started a petition and collected 300 names against logging in the castle area.
It will kill some animals and the beauty of beaver mines.
We don't want them to cut down the trees because then the animals won't have any habitats.
In the castle area, picketers who've held off logging at a development site for 21 days appreciate the support.
It's really, really nice to hear the next generation putting out their voice and how they feel about it.
Monday night, RCMP served a court order for protesters to leave the site so logging can begin. Those against logging in the area say it comes with a mixture of disappointment and determination.
Castle Mountain should be receiving its special place papers so that stuff like this can't happen.
The Court of Queen's Bench order states anyone on the site after 8 a.m. will face legal consequences. Some protesters have said they'd go as far as to be arrested for their beliefs,
but will make the ultimate decision when RCMP arrive. Protesters say there's still hope. They have the option of fighting the matter in court. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Castle River Valley.
Protesters met with a lawyer this afternoon to discuss their options. Well, the city of Lethbridge is asking for your feedback on a new community leisure center in West Lethbridge. The facility will be connected to the Twin Ice Arena, which will be built next to the Crosstons Library. City Council wants you to take a look at the proposals for the new facility. They're holding an open house tonight at Nicholas Sharon School from 7 until 9. There is also a second open house scheduled for tomorrow night at City Hall. The city says the facility will be geared more towards simple recreation with a much less competitive atmosphere than in other athletic facilities in the city. Well, a Cranbrook doctor is about to experience life in the spotlight. A filmmaker from BC traveled with Dr. Bob Cutler to document the inspiring work he's done in Haiti. As Kimberly Davidson reports, the documentary that released from the trip is about to be screened in Cranbrook.
Through Human Eyes is a documentary by filmmaker Chelsea McCormick. It focuses on a Cranbrook doctor that's been leading a medical team to Haiti twice a year for the past decade.
Why you have mansions with lean-tos built right against them and people starving outside the doors of millionaires, I don't understand.
McCormick and Dr. Bob Cutler are recalling their memorable trip to Haiti in preparation for the film's screening.
It's a terribly troubled country, for sure, and it's incredibly overpopulated and incredibly poor, and the problems that they face, we really can't comprehend.
Through Human Eyes was filmed in November of 2009, prior to the 7.0 magnitude earthquake that rocked the island nation last January. But McCormick and her partner and co-producer Wes Isis say while the quake brought a lot of attention to Haiti, it is a piece of a much larger story.
And the goal as well with the film was to make sure that it was semi-timeless in the fact that pre-post earthquake doesn't matter. This is something that's happening for years and years and years and for years to come.
The three are looking forward to the film's first major screening in the community that has stood behind the team's efforts in Haiti for years.
It's great. It's great that this has happened. And I think it really speaks well to what we're doing.
From this screening, I would like to be able to give the film back to the Cranbrook community, who is in constant support of Bob and Rick Clausen and their efforts down in Haiti, which overall was the point of the film in the first place.
At the edge of the city, the roofs of broken iron.
Kimberly Davidson, CTV News, Cranbrook.
The screening of Through Human Eyes will take place February 9th in Cranbrook. Admission is by donation. Well, in 2010, Time magazine listed her as one of the 100 most influential people in the world in the Heroes category. Dr. Temple Grandin is an advocate of animal welfare, and this year she was a guest at Lethbridge's Tiffin Conference. With more, here's this week's Farm TV.
She's a consultant to the livestock industry, a best-selling author, a professor at Colorado State University. She continues to travel and speak about autism, animal welfare, and spoke at the Tiffin Conference at Lethbridge College in January of 2012.
I'm going to talk about some very basic things with cattle handling. A lot of people know how to handle cattle, give them some pointers on handling cattle. People working with animals need to learn how to be observant. I'm a very big advocate of measuring animal welfare indicators like lameness and body condition score and these sorts of things.
What are the benefits of good livestock handling?
Let's look at some of the benefits of good cattle handling. Less bruises, better safety for people. You're going to be less likely to get dark cutting meat or tough meat, better weight gain, less sickness. There's lots of good reasons for handling animals quietly. And it's one of the things that doesn't cost anything to implement.
Has cattle handling improved over the years?
I have been doing this for 35 years, and compared to the bad old days in the 80s and the 70s, there has been a lot of improvement. And what I've seen is the people I'd classify as excellent and good, that has really increased. Unfortunately, there's still a bottom 10% that's still just as bad as they were back in the 70s.
Dr. Grandin is a big advocate of video auditing in processing plants.
And the advantage of doing that auditing over the internet is you get rid of the problem of people acting good when they see a person there with a clipboard.
In 2010, HBO made a movie about Dr. Grandin starring Claire Danes.
Well, they did a wonderful job on the movie. It was like going back in a 60s and 70s time machine. Then I also have a book on humane livestock handling. So if you're interested in cattle handling, you can order humane livestock handling.
Farm TV is brought to you by DA Building Systems.
And on the market today, while it looked like we were getting closer to parity with the U.S. greenback, Loonie fell. Coming up next, we're going to show you one of the biggest babies, newborns, you may have ever seen.